It felt like at times over the last couple of years that this day would never come, right? I mean, we've kind of been waiting and waiting and waiting, and we've been watching this very slow train wreck in real time. The train wreck being, of course, our nation's economy. And now Americans finally have a chance to speak up, to say something, to do something. And I think they're going to take this opportunity with all they can. Hello. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the show. It's great to have you here on Election Day here in America. Portions of the Trish Regan Show are brought to you by Legacy Precious Metals. There has never been a better time to invest for the long haul. Just look at all this debt we've got in things like precious metals than right now. So go check out legacypminvestments.com today. Again, Legacy PM Investments for your free investing guide today. We're going to talk a little bit more about gold and all that good stuff in just a moment. But before we do, let's talk about what's really going on, because this is a kind of reckoning, if you would. And I think this is the wake-up call, frankly, that the Democrat Party needs. Things have gotten so out of hand. When you feel that it's somehow more your duty to be handing out big giant checks to kids who signed on the dotted line and chose to major in who knows what in some of these very woke universities that are just printing money, frankly, and all at our children's expense. When you think it's more important to give them money than to actually try and create a prosperous economy and have lower gas prices and lower food prices, then I think there's something that's out of whack. And this is what Americans in many cases are going to be voting on today. I think this is the number one issue in this election, as it should be. To me, it's all, hey, look, I'm a broken record. You know me. It's always my number one issue. It's really all I care about because, as I've always said, you need a strong economy to be a strong nation, right? You have a strong economy, therefore you have a strong military, therefore you have strength in terms of your own security. And this continues on through so many different levels, whether you're talking about having a strong border, whether you're talking about having a strong education system, you name it. It's about strength, but so much of that strength, let's be honest with ourselves, it does come back to something as basic as money. Now, on the one hand, and this is on the sort of good news side of things, we have had a tremendous role ever since World War II in being that dominant player on the world stage because of money, and it's because we are the world's reserve currency. But what I worry about as we see inflation go increasingly out of control and we see all these other countries around the world recognize that, look, it's kind of the U.S. that's calling all of the shots in terms of our inflation. Everywhere else, I know Biden likes to say, hey, we're the prettiest girl at the dance and we get the least amount of inflation around. But obviously, because we are the currency that everybody else bases themselves off of. So therefore, when our Federal Reserve does something or our administration does something that either weakens or strengthens the dollar, it has a tremendous and immediate ripple effect through the rest of the world. So that kind of stuff is obvious. What I worry about is long-term, where are we heading? Because if we continue to amount so much in the way of debt, at what point do other countries, and I'm not saying this is going to happen tomorrow or next year or even 5 years from now, but at what point do they say, okay, well, I want to find a new way of doing this because I don't want to be the victim of the Federal Reserve anymore or of a reckless government that thinks it's more important to bring helicopter money to Vassar grads than to actually ensure some stability in the economic system. And that's where we're heading. So the good news is we're heading there, which hopefully means we're going to see some really big changes for the Democrat Party ahead because, look, all they've got is Joe and Hillary and Kamala. I'm sorry, it's not going to cut it, guys. Frankly, I think that the GOP has a bigger and larger bench, even though a lot of people would criticize the party and say that Donald Trump is sort of sucking up all the oxygen. What I think he has created is more opportunities for a whole lot more people. You look at, for example, possibly, we'll see how this shakes out, the next senator from Pennsylvania possibly being the first Muslim senator. I mean, that's kind of a big deal. You look at the rise of, say, Carrie Lake, who I think has a huge political future. You look at so many women and so many minorities that have succeeded in the Republican Party. And I think that shows that there's a lot of fresh blood. I think that there's more diversity coming into the party in so many more ways than we're ever seeing within the Democrat system, right? Within the Democrat Party, you've got, let's see, okay, well, I guess you've got the diversity thing with Kamala Harris, but I'm sorry, she's not talented enough. She's not smart enough. And I'm not going to bore you with all the clips. I've played them before where that has been so increasingly evident. They got to know that. And if you want to win, you got to actually find real people, talented people, right? You know that. This little guy over here knows that. I got him. This is Fluffy. He's been making daily appearances. You're going to see him almost every day. Did you find a little snack? You found a little snack on my desk. I might have had a little cheese sprinkled with some rough greens. I'm not supposed to do that. I'm only supposed to give him the supplement like once a day, right? Once a day with his dinner. I put a little bit of vitamins in there by way of this tremendous supplement called Rough Greens. You may have heard me tell you about it before because I think it's one of the reasons why he is thriving so beautifully, this wonderful, incredible dog of mine. Dr. Dennis Black, naturopathic Dr. Dennis Black, created this because he cares so much about health and wellness, both for himself, his family, and of course, his dogs. And so he created this supplement. Dogs love it. Fluffy definitely loves it. So I give it to him with his food every single night. And he's just been going strong, really, really strong. And occasionally, I dip these snacks. He probably, I know he's going to eat the cheese. I like getting a little vitamins in there too. I really do, because I want to know that he is doing well. I want him to live a long and wonderful and healthy, happy life. And taking your vitamins and your supplements is definitely part of that. So go check it out right now. Dr. Black has a special offer. He's offering all of you fans of this program where you can get a free month supply of this incredible supplement, Rough Greens. Roughgreens.com. You get it, right? RUFF greens.com. That's where you go, right, Fluffy? Right, Fluffy? And you can get your free month supply. All you have to do is pay for shipping. So again, go check out roughgreens.com, roughgreens.com today. Fluffy's going to be really excited, I think, this week. I mean, I don't want to say too much because it's election day and there's, some decorum we have to have around these things. It's why you don't see us citing polls and that sort of thing. But I do want to say it's an important time, and it's an important message, I think, that America does need to send to the White House and to Democrats, including Nancy Pelosi, that we're not really going to just stand by and allow our economy to be trampled on in the way that this one certainly has. So I think you will see a lot of changes, some changes coming ahead. He has a little seat. He's got a little anchor seat you see over there on the side. And this is going to be a good thing for America and Americans, because I don't like the trajectory we're on. And it's one of the reasons why you've heard me talk about gold. I talk about precious metals in general a lot. And it's because I feel strongly that we need to be, as a country, working to improve our fundamentals. I mean, hey, you know what? We have not been able to balance our budget since the days of Newt Gingrich and, ironically, Bill Clinton. So I'll give them that. You know what? They work together in ways that we don't see politicians working together anymore. And we've got to get back to those days for the health of this nation. I sometimes worry that we've been so destroyed on that front, so epically destroyed, because everything's been reduced to tweets and we call them in my business SOTs, which means sound on tape. You get that little sound bite for just 10 seconds of somebody saying who knows what, and that just plays in a loop over and over and over again. And so you lose the context, if you would, of what we're all really trying to get at and what we need. And what we need is a future that's independent of other countries, so that we have our own energy sources, so that we have our own money, so that we are strong militarily. These are the things that really do matter. So when Democrats brush off the border, Kamala Harris pretends like the border doesn't matter, that's an issue. And people are waking up to that right now. On the investment front, we've seen recently that the market has been kind of encouraged, and I think that that's a good sign. It suggests that the market does believe that we're not all going to be looking at crazy high taxes in the future, because perhaps you will see this tsunami or this wave or even this ripple from the GOP. Again, I want to be cautious in stating any of that, and we don't have any polls in, and we're not looking at any polls at this moment because there's a huge opportunity still for lots of because we want to be cautious about obviously calling anything before it happens. And people are still going to the polls. And this is a very, very big day in America. I hope it's going to be a very, very big day in America, certainly for the economic interests of this country. But it's one of the reasons why I do talk about gold. I do think that gold is a worthwhile investment right now because you don't know what this is really going to look like over the long term. And while I'm hopeful the next couple of years will be encouraging, I do think there's some long-term fundamental challenges that you need to be quite thoughtful about. So go check out legacypminvestments.com. You can call my friends over there at 1-866-589-0560. Again, it's 1-866-589-0560. I'll also leave that in the show notes for you so you have the phone number, or go to legacypminvestments.com because they can help you. They can help you plan for your future, and they'll work towards making sure that you have the proper allocation in terms of what you need to secure your future. One of the best ways to do that, in my estimation, and it's not perfect, so I'll be very honest with you on that front, but in terms of investing for the long haul and having some security in your portfolio, I for many years, looked to gold to do that. So I encourage you to do the same. LegacyPMinvestments.com. There's a lot that needs to happen. And I think that this will be the important wake-up call for the Democrat Party that they needed to hear. And I'm not sure why no one there was willing to address some of these issues earlier. Maybe they just, they thought they could ride it all the way to, I was going to say the bank, but they could ride it all the way to midterms. And they can't. I don't believe that they're going to have a successful night. I do believe that even if they were to pull off what they might deem a success, it would be quite evident that there are some fractures here that need to be focused on. And that's critical. So we shall see. We shall see. Let me know what you're thinking. I always love hearing from all you guys. So write in the comments below if you're looking at this on YouTube or on Rumble. Let me know what you're thinking. I think it's going to be pretty remarkable. Also, make sure you go to my website. We're going to have lots of updates there for you at trishintel.com. Again, that's trishintel.com. You can sign up for my newsletter so you'll get invites to exclusive events, often free. There's no cost to you, and I bring on experts, and we have a wonderful discussion. We get one coming up later this month. So go there for me right now. Go and subscribe, and I'll see you tomorrow, hopefully with some really good news.